Hola, everyone.
Hello, beautiful humans and healing warriors.
We are doing a little sample session for all of you for some of the yin yang sessions that we offer. And actually, one of my specials this month is for a pet and pet parent Akashic record reading. So, somewhat similar to what we're going to be doing with our four animals tonight. Sam and I are going to tap into each other's fur babies. And kind of just tap into their Akashic record. So to see any other lives that they've lived, either with us or not with us, but perhaps maybe have brought over some energy like we do as humans into this life that came from other lives. We're also able to tap into like their physical bodies to see if there's anything going on in there medically wise that maybe we want to be aware of. So it's definitely a limitless session as to what's going to come through. But we have four animals that we're going to be doing. Sam's going to tap into my lovely dog Bandit and my foster baby Sonic. And I will tap into her lovely baby Lily and her cat Sirius. So it's kind of just a way for us to show that this work can be done remotely, first of all, and we don't even need to know the pet or animal that we're tapping into because it's all about setting the intention and working with spirit to tap into their energy field. So yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah. Um, so who do you want me to do first? You want me to do Bandit first or Sonic first?
Whoever you feel called to do. I'll do Lily first,
Do Bandit.
out of your two. I'm just gonna get a timer set too, so we have to set timers because otherwise Sam and I can get lost in there for for
Oh
a
yeah,
while.
takes us a while to come back.
Because time is an illusion. So, yeah, when we're tapped out of this time realm, it's like, oh my God, we lose track of time. So, we're going to set the intention to do about 15 minutes for each animal. So, Sam, do you want me to do Lily first? And I'll kind of just narrate whatever it is that I'm being
And I'll
shown.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way I can be present.
Yes.
Mostly for our yin yang sessions, it's an hour where we both work with you. Um,
Yes.
with our Limitless, there's all different times. We don't both work with you at the same time. We work with you individually. And your animal doesn't need to be alive in order to tap in the Akash and to do one of these sessions. We all have contracts with each other. And we can tap in because we're all energy. We can tap into any source with the intention of it being love and healing. Um, so we always encourage people to record the sessions. We'll record them on Zoom or for you to write. We really want you to just be present to receive the information. That way you're not just hearing one thing and then like writing the rest. So I'm just going to allow myself to receive Maria's wisdom on my
All
girl.
right. Here we go. So, I'm going to start my timer. And I have already called in. Usually, Sam and I will start the session by calling in all of the guides, the higher selves. So I have already called all of those lovely beings into my space, but I will just sort of reset that intention to call in Lily's higher self, any compassionate guides on the other side that want to work with Lily, and to just really show me any energies in her physical body that might be causing her any sort of anxiety or duress. And I'm also going to ask to be shown any other lives that will bring forth information for her highest and best. Also, for those of you that have not had sessions with us, we both mostly talk with our eyes closed when we're tapped in because it just helps us to keep the trance state a little bit better. So bear with me while my eyes are closed. So I'm already, for me, I'm always brought right into the Akash first. So I'm in another life right now of Lily's where I'm actually seeing her as a human. They're showing me her as like a young girl, about 5 or 6 is what I just heard. And she's holding on to like a red balloon. She's like walking up a pretty like steep hill. It's like a big grassy hill. And like she's just holding this red balloon and she's staring up at it as she's walking up. I don't see anyone else around, but she's like very focused on the balloon. Like, and it's weird because the hill is very, very like it's like getting steeper almost as she's walking up it, but her focus is on this balloon. Like she doesn't want, like she's holding onto it wicked tight, doesn't want to let it go, but is also afraid it's gonna like pop.
Sounds like her.
And it's funny because, as you and I both know, red with I am sensing it's like a root chakra thing. There's like there's a safety message with it for sure because she's so like, I can like almost like feel her fear of like, what happens if I let go of it? What happens if it pops? Like that's like the energy I'm feeling from her right now. And no coincidence again that the balloon is red. I'm not that it always has to do with the chakras, but in this sense, I am feeling that that's what it has to deal with. So I do see her now. She's at the top of the hill, but it's like she's not even realizing the journey up that it took to get her because her focus and attention was on the balloon the whole time, like not on herself. And so now I see her at the top of this hill and she's not even realizing like the trek that she just made to get up there. It's like she's not like seeing herself for like what she just endured because her focus is still on this like external balloon that what happens if it pops. So all very metaphorical. This is what happens in all of our readings. There's a lot of metaphor in it, but I know that Sam is picking up what I'm putting down. I'm hearing that her name in that life was Emily, and it actually in linear time doesn't feel like it was that long ago. Um, I actually just heard like the 90s, this life of hers. So I'm trying to just find out like where her family is, because it's like she's not even concerned that nobody is around. So I'm just trying to tap into that to see. So they're actually saying that she ran away in that life, obviously very young. Um, and I'm quickly, like very, very quickly seeing the house she was in. And there was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of like arguing back and forth in there. And it's almost like, I feel like, I don't know if like it's just a metaphor, but it's like I'm seeing the balloon like flying by the house and like she went and caught it and like never came back. Um, but I am also hearing in that span of her running away, she was actually abducted. Um, so I don't feel like her walking up the hill is actually what happened. I feel that that was all metaphorical. At somewhere in her leaving the house, she was abducted. Um, and so there's that the safety thing stemming initially from the house she was in, where there was a lot of just I don't feel like there was necessarily like abuse to her, but I feel like she was around just a lot of yelling in the house, which caused her to kind of just like sort of migrate out of the house. I don't even know that her intention was to run away. I think she just wanted to get away from the noise. And in that, she was abducted. And this is wild because now I'm seeing like a station wagon, which I have seen in so many visions before, but I never knew who it was. But I'm seeing now the same station wagon, and I'm seeing her like she initially in the trunk, but then I do see her in the back seat. Um, and the person that's driving it is like, he's got big glasses and dark hair. Oh,
What color is the station wagon?
it's like a like brown and tan, like it's a two-tone.
Wood?
Yep.
Okay, I've seen this too. Okay.
And it's like I've seen this station wagon so many times in just random like visions. Sometimes it's when I'm meditating, and other times it's just like been a quick flash. And I'm always like who are these people? But I always knew there was something off with it. Like I knew the person in the back seat didn't belong there, if that makes sense. And so it definitely was her, and I'm getting chills. Um, so what they're showing me is like the man that took her. He wasn't. I don't see any like I don't see any like sexual abuse, which is what I actually anticipated to see. But they're no, they're not. It's almost like he. So they're saying he lost a child um, at some point and sort of wasn't right in the head. So when he saw her, it was like he was just drawn to take her, but his intention like wasn't to like abuse her or anything. But he was like mentally sick is what they're showing me. And like the way he raised her, because they are showing me that she grew up, but she hit about 17 and she actually took her own life because she found out like that like her whole life was kind of a lie because it's like very quickly all the information coming in. It's like she did find out that he wasn't really her father, and she had like a lot of issues growing up too because he was mentally unstable. So it's like she took on a lot of that, and they are showing me when she was 17 that she did end up taking her life. But here's what's also weird is like I feel like you, Sam, like encountered her at some point in the 90s. Like I don't, it's like they're not showing me that like you guys were friends or anything, but that your paths crossed. Like it's so weird. Um, and they're saying too like she does know you from other lives as well, but this is the one that's coming in strong. But it's like when your paths crossed at that sometime, like you were obviously very young, but there was like this sort of like inner knowing between both of you that you knew each other. And this is why she has come back as your dog, because first of all she knows she's very safe with you. um, but she's also it's like the two of you have a lot of the same kind of lessons in this life. um, and trust is like it's a big one, right? So but it's again it's like it's not even necessarily trusting who to allow into your space. and the same thing with her. So it's like you're both learning boundaries together, and learning also how not to take in all of the external energy. Like what was happening to her in her house that she first was living in, like she was taking in all of that, like toxicity in the family. And then like she was with this mentally unstable man and she like took all of that in. So like the way you guys are going to work together is just like how you're learning how not to take in everybody's stuff. Like by you learning that, you're also teaching her. So I feel like they're saying to me right now, like the same thing I did for Bandit, about being, I didn't train him, but I worked with his higher self on how to set a boundary for him so he doesn't absorb like all of like our stuff when we're going through things. Because I know Snoop like absorbed everything, and like he knows how to have boundaries. It's the weirdest thing. Like when I'm very emotional, how most animals want to ground us, he goes away, but that's because like I worked with his higher self to do that. So they're saying like, yes, by calling in all of the angels and the guides, it helps, but like actually work with her higher self to learn boundaries in the same way that you're learning boundaries.
Okay.
Also, because she feels safe with you, they're saying to, she already feels safe with you. So not to, for you, not to like feel this like need to like overprotect her, if that makes sense. Like because she is also here to learn a lot of the same things you have, and like you and I both know, like I can't protect you from the things you have to go through. So they're saying there's like a stress in you sometimes that feels like you need to protect her from all those like external things that you feel like maybe she's like absorbing. But just even that fear in you is like feeding it for her. So they're just saying to like be mindful of like you don't actually have to protect her all the time because she already feels, that's why she chose you. She knows intuitively, she does know she's safe even in that house. Like she knows she's safe, um, even though she may be absorbing sometimes other people's stuff. Like you don't have to take on the role to like protect her of that, but that's like why you can work with her higher self. The same thing with like me and Bandit. Like I can't protect him from everything, because I also know he's here to like learn and experience things too that I may perceive as like uncomfortable, because I'm his pet parent. But like it's the same thing that parents do with their kids, right? Like we literally can't protect them from everything, but it's like so strong that that's why she chose you, because she knows you're strong enough to like discern the difference, like not take that on, because you are learning that now through in your own journey. Like we can't protect all of our loved ones, but you already provide like that safe container for her that she knows like when she needs solace and peace, she can come to you. I'm also now like seeing her. They're showing me her in a completely different realm. And I feel like it's what we were talking about too with like the dragons, because I see her in that realm as a protector. So it's like she's learning. She's also learning the different roles. But in that realm, she was like this, like she was a protector. So she knows what that energy feels like, to be in playing in that role. But she almost wanted to, not almost, she did. She wanted to come into sort of like vulnerable avatars, I guess, and wanted to learn like these sort of lessons through like vulnerable ways. And like obviously being a dog, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable avatar because you're trusting that your humans are going to, care for you, provide a good environment. So it's like she chose, just like even in that other life that they're showing me, she chose that young child, to be very vulnerable in a very toxic like environment, because she's also like, I'm seeing her as this like it's sort of a dragon, but I feel like it's a combo of multiple different, because I also see like fairy too. It's weird, but all like
Sure.
morphed into this one creature. And she was like wicked powerful, like super powerful. But
You
they're
work with.
saying she was so powerful that she lost her vulnerability, if that makes sense.
Yep. Oh yeah. Hmm.
And like you're also just as powerful, like as she was in that realm. Like, but it's like she's saying she like lost her vulnerability when she was up there because she was like this powerhouse, and like that's what was also expected of her, to be that powerhouse, where like that's why now she's chosen these last couple lives as a much more vulnerable being, and appears on the outside like very scattered.
She doesn't care. She is.
Huh?
She doesn't appear. She is.
Yeah, exactly. um I'm just like looking in her body too to see if like I see anything in her body that like is to be of like concern or might potentially cause anything, and it's like I don't.
Can you look at her heart?
It's funny. I'm as I'm saying, I don't see anything. I see her heart, and it's just like beating really fast. Like and which I know she's anxious, right? But it's like it's on like overload. Do you ever do you I know you used to have like a little like water fountain in your house, but like do you ever, you probably do you play like music for her or sounds of any kind?
I do, but she doesn't really like them. The only one
Because
I really slept to was the one I made the dragon meditation with.
yes, because it's almost like I'm hearing like wind. Well, that's weird because I know you and your air, but it's like because I'm like trying to ask for something that would be soothing for her sound wise, and literally what I'm hearing is like wind sound, like really like aggressive, like almost like hurricane winds, but I don't hear all the other sounds. Like I don't hear like thunder and lightning and rain. It's wind, but it's like the howling of the wind. Like I see her like laying down, very calm.
Like she hates the wind,
That's so weird.
but she likes the fan freaks her out. Like the sound of the fan freaks her the fuck out. The AC freaks her out unless I say that's the protective thing. I'm like, well, she's teaching me patience and how to like, oh, it's just a fan. She's teaching me how to like, all right, it's okay, it's a fan. Come see the fan.
Yep.
And when I get down to her level and guide her to the fan, she looks at it, she's like, oh, okay. But then she forgets the next day, she wakes up, she's like, oh my God, what's that? It's the fan lily. But she does like rooms where it's closed and the fans um when we were at the beach, she liked the wind there.
Yes, and the wind that I'm hearing is like, God, I wish I could like.
Like wings for a dragon. Yeah, what I was doing.
Can you hear what I'm doing? Like,
Yeah, that's the dragon,
that's what I hear her listening to.
the light language, the dragon tongue.
It's like, yeah. And I'm like, it's wind, but that's why I'm like, I don't hear any other like any other nature elements, but it's like that. Like her, and I see her like literally, like if you can either find something online that sounds like that or mimics that, I literally see her just like she's laying calm, and I know her. So I know like to get like I don't ever hardly see her like that, but that's how they're showing me her, is like how a good calm dog would just like lay there. But it's that you're probably right. It's like what wings would sound like.
Yeah, that's why when I connected with the dragons, they said Lily's name. And I was like,
Because I see her heart, and it's funny because it's bright, like the chakra is so bright green, almost like she has so much energy there, but doesn't know how to release it. Like it's like I'm seeing this amount of like love, and that so then I can see the heart muscle, like it's like pounding. But that's when I heard the and then I saw her calming right down. And the heart started to like, oh, okay, okay, okay. It started to slow. But the green that was coming off of the heart, it's almost like what they're showing me is like she has so much energy in the heart, she doesn't know what to like, how to channel it.
Because when I
So
take her,
creating like an anxiety, and that's how it's coming out to you, like it like she's anxious and like freaked out, but there it's like her heart chakra is like overwhelmed, and it like doesn't know how to like channel it.
I
It's
feel like her heart,
crazy.
her physical heart is too small for her body. Because when she's walking and everything, she's like, and I'm like what? But she's laughing, she's smiling, her tail's wagging, but she's like, I'm like, and I don't want to take her for long walks because I truly feel like her physical heart is too small for all of the love and energy that's within her chakra and in her body.
That's exactly what it was shown. So it's like the muscle itself was small, but the heart chakra, the center outside, was way like huge, and it was like this like disconnect between the two. Like yes, this thing's pumping to keep up with the energy of the chakra of that. So it's like this thing's like, oh my god, I'm trying to like pump as fast as what the energy center is like filling me with. And then that's when I heard the and she was like, oh, I know this sound. Now I can calm down.
So I wonder if I have to connect with her root first, clear energy in that in order to bring back the other ones to feel the heart. Because obviously,
Mm-hmm.
heart, if one chakra is imbalanced, the other ones are imbalanced. And they wouldn't notice they were to begin with.
Correct. It all
And
started in the root anyways because it was all that. I mean, it started, the whole thing started with the red balloon. And she was so focused on it. And I could, oh, fear. It was all fear. Yeah.
but I also feel like I'm her red balloon in this life, like hyper focused on me.
I think you probably are.
Yeah. I know what the station wagon is.
You do?
Yep. That's why I asked you the color. Growing
Dude,
up,
I've seen this friggin' station wagon so many times, and it was, I finally just got to the point where, like, they'll tell me what I need to know. Clearly, here we are.
and I think you're seeing the merging of two station wagons um at some points, but tonight, so one, I'm not going to name the people, um but one was in the 90s, one was a little bit later in high school, one was a blue kind of grayish station wagon. The girl, she had brown curly hair, had more of a manly look with big glasses. The wooden one, there was a lot of abuse and trauma in that car that happened. I was in that car. That was when I was older in high school. And a lot of people came in and out. I started seeing people's faces when you were saying that of who Lily is, but the Emily doesn't make sense to me. But um it's because I feel like maybe I met her and her name is different to me. For some reason, I feel like the name's Alicia.
But you know what? Oh, you know what? Because she had a birth name, but then she was given another name.
What I mean. Um, but in
Because when she was taken, he did not keep that same name. Oh, wow, I just got chills.
and in the 90s, there was actually two people have actually I think two people had the station wagon. Yeah. Two people had the fucking wooden station wagon. One had like red on the side, one had different colors, brown woods. And every time I got in the car, I felt I had heebie jeebies. Like hardcore. I can't believe I remembered their last name. I wrote it down, it came right through. and there was a bunch of kids in that family, and it always felt very off. Something always felt not okay. And I stopped hanging out with them. I actually grew up in the same neighborhood as Kevin, and I would just always feel off. And I think she was one of the girls that was in the car that I remember always seeing, like feeling.
Oh,
And Kevin was her neighbor too. Like the two people with those cars, Kevin was in the neighborhood. Every time she sees Kevin now, it's like I don't exist. Kevin's like, and she bows down. It gets so excited, more than like for anybody. And the same like me, like, but for him, it's like you saved me, and I'm like, no, I'm all right here. But it's totally different. He gets down, but I think that because he lived in the same neighborhood. I think, and I have chills whole body.
me freaking too.
Think that yeah, because remember I said I think that she was my kid or something, and then
Mhm. Mhm.
whatever, and yeah, um, just fine.
Whoa.
I feel like I'm her red balloon. I'm her safety. She's
Yep.
hyper focused on me because she doesn't want to get taken again, in a sense, right?
Yep. Yep.
The both of those, all three of those people that rode those station wagons, very, very mentally unstable. Very. Um, uh, one of them ended up dying of a heart condition.
Mm.
Another one, something happened, I don't know, disappeared. And another one went into a couple of facilities. Yeah.
Wow.
So
See, peeps, we have no idea whatever is going to come through. Like,
I forgot we were recording this. Yeah. Real good reason why I didn't get the names. Okay.
exactly. Well, I figured that's why you didn't.
I was so into the readings. I was like, oh my God, but I'm not being super protective. Like, if anything, my mom, but I understand what you're saying because my mom is like super protective of her in a sense. But like, I know my mom feels the same. Like when I said I think Lily's a little heart, my mom was like, "Yeah, I think she does too." And I was like,
Because your mom is very sensitive and yeah. So she's, yeah,
and
picking up on it.
and
Hmm.
I wrote down I'm gonna channel like the same place me and her come from, like that dragon life, whatever. I'm gonna get a frequency. I'm gonna record it, and I'm gonna play it for us when we sleep because I feel
Yep.
Kevin has some part of in it too,
Yep.
and yeah, and then I don't know, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to bring balance to her chakras because I truly get nervous that like her heart's gonna explode. She's gonna have a heart attack because the not because her heart. I feel like her heart's too small for her body, her physical heart. But I know that that's also like a limited belief because right, it's how healthy is the heart. So not
Correct.
like the size of the heart, right? People live with a hole in their heart till they're 90.
Correct. Correct. And I really think, honestly, like, if by doing, the sound healing for her, and giving it some time to like work, I think that's going to work itself out, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially knowing this with because that's so weird. I was literally thinking of that family like 2 weeks ago when I first asked you to connect with Lily.
Are you serious?
Swear to God, and I have bumps in my whole body. Finished shaved. Um, but I couldn't remember their names, and I was like, oh my God, because I saw one of the vans they used to drive too, and I used to call it a pedophile van because I just felt so correct.
Something off. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
Well, that's why initially my mind was like, because when I saw the guy and everything, and like I was like, oh, sexually molested, right? Because of course that's where the mind goes. And then they were like, no, no. And I was like, oh, okay. But they were like very mentally unstable. And like it was like I saw how he was like treating her and stuff, like almost like the child he loved. It was weird. It was just weird. but
Yeah.
not, it was just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that I don't feel either that she was abused in a sexual way because she'll let me rub her lower belly, actually calms her since she's
Mhm.
this big. Like, and she lets me touch her whole body. She'll let anyone ex Oh, weird. Okay. I'll just tell you this real quick and then I'll get into Bandit. Um, she I've noticed lately when we go for walks, because I'm more aware of everything now. Otherwise, I'm like, da, 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 da.
Aren't we all?
Ew, da, da, da. I'm noticing that when people like they're like, "Oh, what a beautiful dog," they'll go up to like pet her, and she jumps into me, and I'm like, "They're fine." Like, and I'll tell her it's fine, and she'll just look at me like, and she looks at me, and I'm like, "What? Something wrong with that person?" And the person's like, "Oh, okay, never mind." It's always guys. It's always guys that they're all the same size, and but it's weird because like even even people that come and work on the house won't go near women. Oh yeah, you can pet me. I'm right here. Men, if it's not Kevin, he's like, even my own dad, she's like, okay, you're safe.
Mhm. Because she felt very, very betrayed by him when she found out that like
Makes sense.
she was taken from her family. So that's essentially what they showed me, like led to her like taking her life. I mean, it seemed she had a unstable life with him, but I do feel she loved him because she thought it was her dad. And then when she found out, so there was like this massive amount of yeah, betrayal feeling, and yeah,
Makes sense.
wild.
Well, thank you. You can close her out. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. We
Go
can,
right ahead.
unless you want to talk. Do you want to talk or you want me to pause it?
You can pause it.
I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Um, while I was when I came back, Lily followed me in the room and I had Maria do her noise. And Miss Lily came and walked right down. She never does that. Crazy. All right, so I'm gonna connect to Maria's dog Bandit. I'm just gonna set the intention to connect my heart to his. Then I'm just gonna call in all of his energies. You want me to just do general, all right? Anything that comes through?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so they're showing me a split screen of there's two lives. I'm gonna see which one first. Okay. So the one over here that I was first being brought to for Bandit, he was I heard mailman, but he was first wearing like green, like a camo fatigue, like that type of coloring. And I was like, that doesn't make sense with mailman. And then I saw this like split screen of like white and black, and then the camo guy, green, moved in there. Um, and now I'm seeing it's just so weird because I'm hearing mailman, but he keeps changing uniforms. He's now wearing I'm getting extremely hot. He's um it's as though both lives want to talk to me at the same time. So let
He's
me
always hot too. Always.
he's always hot.
Yes.
I feel like I'm on sitting on a fire. Okay, so I'm gonna walk down the middle of these two lives because they're saying, as you know, Maria, um, these are definitely parallel lives, and they want me to see both of them at the same time. So I'm just gonna walk down the middle, and because they're both walking on either side of me. And the one on my right hand side, he's wearing like the old school police, like that dark blue, but on the left he's wearing that green fatigue, and there's a lot of sand on this left side. On this right side, I don't have any background at all. It's really weird. Whoa. Okay. So as I'm walking straight, I'm seeing like the infinity symbol, but it's really just they're saying they're two portals. I'm walking in the middle and they're both standing, so bandits on either side of me. And he looks the same in both. And they're saying choices, choices. And they're saying that as soon as he walks through these infinity like portals, it's going to change. um it's like it's going to come together as one. I feel like I'm in between lives where he's either doing a life review or he 'cause he's the same age in both of them too. He has these bushy brown eyebrows and like um he has, I don't want to say dirty skin because that's not appropriate, but like his face on the left in that green, it's like dust, there's dirt on it.
Mhm.
And then on the right side, it still looks the same. He definitely has tanner skin, but I feel like there's a lot of distress and a lot of like he's been on a long voyage and he's trying to find himself in both of these lives because I hear postal worker, but I'm not seeing him dressed in a postal worker outfit at all. Um, so I'm going to have them go through these portals with me and see where we go. Okay, so before we went in on the right side where he's like more in that cop look, they're actually telling me that um okay, remember how I said to you the other day like my Lumerian and my Arcturian self are kind of,
At odds.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's what's happening. Bandit is like a soldier in two different places at the same time. Now, and so that's why he's wearing different colors. One is that blue, he has more uh he's like at a higher class, like more command in that uniform than in the green. Like he's at like, let's say you would say infantry in the green type of thing, right? Versus like a sergeant or something.
Yep.
And when I just invited them to go through the portals, I heard daddy, daddy, daddy. And I turned and I saw um, a little girl. And then I saw a woman running up to him. And he has on one of those big sacks. And in it is male. It's male, not male, male, like MAIL. And referencing that he's about to go into war, and so is in this other him in this other life that's in the green, but he doesn't have a bag, and I don't see any family. It's very he's very alone. But in this what's called the blue life, the blue camel, the sergeant one, they're calling him they're calling him Rafi, Raphie. You are his wife. This little girl, she has like light hair. And it's interesting because you both have brown hair and the girl has light like golden hair. And she's much whiter than both of you. But she's running up to him and she's not scared. She's just like she's saying, "Daddy, like I love you. It's going to be okay. Read my letters. Read my letters." and you're over in the back and you're trying not to cry and you're holding a dish towel, so it's showing that like you're like gonna be the keeper of the house, right? But you are reserving your emotions. You're staying strong, right? And your daughter is signaling that you're teaching her how to write. And he goes, "Shh, don't let anyone know that you know how to write." Um, whew. And it's like he's not gonna come back. And I'm getting super emotional. And it's like he knows he's not gonna come back. Um, and he doesn't know how to share that with you. Um, I feel like it's like Korean War or something. I just heard Korea. Um, for some reason I just saw a cucumber. Um, you have this cute little, I'm not seeing your house. It doesn't look like you guys have a lot of money, but I am seeing that there's a garden and it's very homey. But they're also, you guys seem very closed off from a lot of the community. Uh, and it feels like things need to be hush hush. Like it's like it, it was feels like a time where women who had skills or had smarts, right, would be disempowered or hurt or whatever, because he's telling her shh. And she's like, okay, it's our little secret. And there I keep seeing this like golden star. And he looks back at you and he says, I'll see you again. And you're holding the dish towel, for some reason a cucumber. I don't give him cucumbers, I guess. I don't know. But he's you're holding the towel um like this, and you're just like you're not going to see each other in this life, in that life again. um and it's so weird because now he looks at you with this exchange, and your daughter looks back at you like it's gonna be okay. It's like totally innocent, right?
Yeah.
And he keeps his eye on you as he walks in the portal. um and then I just saw it close and the daughter run back to you, and you just hold her and you're crying and she's saying, don't be sad, mommy, it's okay. And she's like right around your waist. um but her head is specifically going right into your sacral and your solar plexus, like laying on it. And they're saying that a lot of your um I wish I didn't know this about you, but I know that you've been having GI stuff and belly issues, but a lot of it is nerves around um kind of like not a fear of the unknown, but like knowing the unknown, right?
Yep.
And um it's causing just like turmoil a little bit in your belly, even though you have it together. It's like
Mm.
um and holy shit. Okay. The daughter is Sonic. The daughter is Sonic. The daughter is Sonic. Um, whoa. Uh, whoa. You, when you found out that he died, he wasn't coming home, it was like you were displaced. Like they um You're very frantic and you're crying and you're obviously because you just found out you know he's passed, but your daughter is something happened because I see you being pulled away and almost like ah, and your daughter like mommy like what's going on, um and then I just saw her morph into Sonic. That really just freaked me out a little bit.
Guess you're doing Sonic now too. You might as well.
Well, Sonic is running over into the other life because we can't forget about the green life. Um, this is wild. Um,
Always is.
yeah, I know. So Bandit Blue is gone. Um,
Bandit Blue.
Bandit Green over here, it's very desolate. I feel like I'm probably on the other side of the country versus this first one, but I still feel like I'm going to something with Korea or some type of I just heard Ukraine, like in that area. It just feels very I'm very bad with geography, but like I keep hearing Turkey, Ukraine, Korea, of all of these lives. Like it's like a merging of them. I mean of places of Blue and Green Bandit. And Green Bandit, um, he went through the portal the same time Blue did. And when I'm seeing him now, he's throwing down his knapsack, and there's not a lot of um, stuff in it. I'm seeing all these other soldiers put up their like pictures. There's no frames then, but they're letting me know it's a metaphor for letting me know like pictures and memorabilia of people they love, and I'm not seeing him with anything. Um, and it's very dusty. Even when he lays in the bed, it's like dust comes off. Versus it seemed like the other Blue Bandit, it was very tidy, right? The only dust was in the garden, which is just the dirt. It was very much more clean versus this life. And it's as though they go to war with each other. They're not on the same uh,
Side.
yes. But it's as though Blue side, because I'm seeing him, he's out and he's like kicking dirt, looking around for something. He's playing with rocks. He's like literally just throwing rocks into the dirt. And the little dog comes running up. I'm just gonna keep going because I'm gonna go into
Yeah.
Sonic. But the little dog, Sonic, is running up and he now kind of looks like Wishbone, you know, the white dog with like the
Yeah.
brown. He looks like Wishbone. And he's a stray. And Green Bandit is like they are just like best friends. He's like he feels like he has family now. And it's probably why he doesn't mind him sleeping in his beds.
Probably.
Because they just it was like, oh my God. And he's eating Green Bandit's eating like a piece of bread and giving him a piece of bread. He's like, this is my family now. He's I'm hearing all the other soldiers talking, but I don't see him actually like connecting with anybody. He's very reserved, very to himself. I feel like his family, he didn't have any family. They're saying that he like what we would consider foster. That's not what they would call it then. It was just like he went from like I just see him roaming in like around in a neighborhood, like going into house, coming out. Like he didn't actually have a home, so he just felt like the military was the only thing for him. So he's very closed off with connecting with people. Like I feel a lot of emptiness in him until he sees the dog. The dog's name, I know it's Sonic, but that's funny. Fredo. He's like not Frito, Fredo. Frieto. Um And he speaks a different Green Bandit speaks a different language. I feel like it's like German or something, but he's very soft spoken. He's very to himself. But besides throwing rocks, and he loves that he throws a rock and can find the same rock, and Fredo's laughing at him like that's not the same rock, and he's like yeah it is, and like they're like best friends. um I am seeing. So Blue Bandit and Green Bandit, they die at the same time. Green Bandit is he doesn't even he's like very he's even skittish with a gun. Like he's very skittish with things. So it's like he just felt like he had to go in the army to do something, right? It's not like oh I'm this badass. It's very like I'm just trying to find a place to fit in and find some type of home, something to do. Um He's actually saying that when he got the call, it was a blessing, and I'm assuming that that means the call to the military.
Mhm.
Um, they're calling him Peanut because he's small. He's a small guy. Um,
That's so funny because in this life, he's, as you know, larger than he should be.
he kind of
Love
looks like Peanut, but like they're like you little Peanut, like they're making fun of him, so he feels still
it.
less than, but he
Small.
wants to prove himself.
Hmm.
And he's even when he's trying to use the gun, I'm seeing behind these like bean stack these bags. They're like, "Go, Peanut, hit it," and he's like just nervous. I definitely feel like he's like a frontline person. Like I just keep hearing throw away. Like he's a throwaway. Like he doesn't have a family, anyways. Doesn't matter. Just pretty fucked up. But I just keep hearing throwaway, and I know this part's a metaphor because I'm seeing Blue Bandit come in on one of those big uh, tanks, but I know it's a metaphor for saying that he's higher than him.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any other type of military trucks or anything around. It's very like on foot war, and I don't know who shot who, but I'm seeing Peanut Green Bandit down in the dirt, and all he is thinking about is Fredo. That's all he's thinking about. Like, oh my god, like I can't say goodbye to Fredo. Like, oh my god. And he's laying there, and he's just covered in dust. And Blue Bandit comes, and he's looking over him, and it's like he sees something in him, and he sees him. I don't actually know if Green Bandit is shot or he's just laying there like fuck this. I don't see
Yeah.
any blood or anything. I just see defeat and tired and hot and sad and scared. And then I'm seeing Blue Bandit standing over him, looking at him with the gun. But it's like this weird old, probably only takes one bullet shotgun. Like it's this weird gun, and he's like looking over him. And it's like Green Bandit doesn't see him. He's just thinking about Fredo. And same with Lily with the red balloon. It's just like, oh my god, I don't even like this is really how it's going to go. And it's as though Blue Bandit, they're saying reserve him, like doesn't kill him. He just keeps walking and then he gets shot in the back by one of Green Bandit's men.
Whoa.
That's how he dies.
I'm getting full chills.
And they actually die. Blue Bandit dies on those sacks while Peanut Green Bandit is laying in the sand next to him. Uh, Lots of lung stuff, like like just being covered in dirt and soot.
That's why he pants all the time. You talk about Lily pant, he does too.
Mhm. And the hotness, he's so hot because it's so hot in this desert. Like my whole body's real. Like I could jump in an ice tub right now.
As
Uh,
soon as you tapped into his energy, I'm like, she's in it because you took your thing off. I'm like, oh yeah, this dog's always hot. I mean, he's got 80 pounds of fur too, but that's the avatar he picked this time to
but
live in the desert.
he's still little. So let me see if there's anything else with Bandit to share.
It's pretty wild.
So, Green Bandit hears Fredo say something. They speak something else, right? They speak a. But it's like Green Bandit has just enough. I keep using the word reserve. I don't know why. Just enough energy to grab Blue Bandit's hand, and like as his hands hanging over the sack, but Blue Bandit is looking like the opposite way of Green, and it's like Fredo told him like, hey, like connect. He saved you. And when that happens, I actually see them kind of merge, and then now I'm walking back on that path of the two lives, and that's that transition. Remember at the beginning I said I feel like I'm in a in between.
Like a life review. Yeah.
And when they're on the bags, I see like the strength and the love and Blue Bandit merge into Green, and then like I don't like the energy, they just merge, and then I'm seeing was was Bandit a rescue too?
Yep.
I knew that, I just forgot. But because I'm seeing them come together as one, and then I'm seeing him in this tall. I'm seeing him as he looks now, like now. Um, and I just keep hearing. Remember, I told you I'd see you again, and it was that blue talking to you. Um, and it's like that dish rag. I'm seeing that dish rag again, and the symbol. It's like they're saying the symbol of warmth. The way you were holding, I didn't realize, but underneath the towel, you were holding a knife, protection. So it was like you had fear of something too. And so he's back in a sense to protect you, but it's like the way you're holding it is to your heart and here. Like you have this like I have a thing here, but you're like this, right?
Yep.
And when I remove the towel, you have a knife here, and it's like so you were protecting something. Obviously your daughter, but like it feels like more of a metaphor, like but also there is an actual knife, but protecting your heart.
Yep. So I
um
was just gonna say.
but also in that life yes, protecting your heart, 'cause that's why they wanted me to go back to it, but in that life when it was like you were taken, you and your daughter were separated, and like you're like looking for the knife, like you're like like you're so frantic, so you knew that something unsafe was going to happen if something happened to Blue Bandit. um and that's why he kept saying shh, like it was like you guys were being hiding. um and so now he's back, which you already know all this, but I'm just going to tell you. um he goes, you're telling her for all those fuzzy wuzzies in her belly. um he is a protector of your heart, but he's also teaching you the strength of your heart. And he's because the way you're holding the knife, it's down, right? It's like that gut pain needs to go away because like you guys are reunited now. And his heat is to warm up you, to warm up the fire in you so you can protect yourself in all ways in this life. Because he felt, in a sense, that in that life, knowing that he was leaving and he knew that, like, he knew he was going to die and you knew he was going to die, he knew something bad was going to happen to you. You both did. And so he always carried a little bit of a guilt. And he goes, that's why I pack on my heavy coat now, because I want to this is my way of kind of carrying weight in a different sense. He goes, and he's talking about Arizona. Arizona's hot, but like it's really it's not compared to, and he's referring to those two lives because that was the heat, like that it's a different heat.
Yep.
Um, okay, and I just asked if there's anything else. I just heard corn on the cob. Yeah. Green Bandit liked corn on the cob.
Cucumbers and corn on the cob. All right.
Yep. Cucumbers and corn on the cob. And one last thing with Bandit, with the dish towel, it's because, as you were saying earlier, the metaphors, right? The dish towel is red and white. The whole thing's white with red stripes.
Of course
Uh,
it is.
yeah. I'm just gonna go right into Sonic.
He feels you because he's moving.
Yep. Hey, buddy. Do
It's the first time he's been like passed out right here, like not moving. As soon as you said, "I'm just gonna go into Sonic,"
you have your headphones in?
no, because I wanted to record it.
So I'm just asking Sonic's higher self now if there's anything he wants to share or they want to share about these two lives. If they need any, if he needs any closure or healing in it, because I'm getting the healing right now. Of course you are, buddy. Um, he did just have me. So Sonic, his higher self is like, I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones, but in Game of Thrones, there's these, all of these things that look like this,
Okay.
and sorry, he's like throwing them down from the ethers all around those two lives. Like he's like, I'm getting my healing now. And as he said that, I'm seeing all of these like selenite, light blue, and like dark gray black pieces like this, like kyanite, dropping down from the sky and going into those lands. So he does some type of healing himself. Like he's some type of healer. Uh, yeah, so I had a, he's like, yep, you could talk about me. I might be little, but I'm pretty big. Um,
And I am getting chills as you said that too.
because he's literally being shown to me as, remember how I said the portal? It looks like an infinity. So if you look in the middle of an infinity and you imagine wings being stretched out over the top and a face in the middle, that's it's like him, like he is powerful. Because I'm seeing him as like what people call like a god energy, like in those movies, those Roman movies where like the guy, one guy is like 9,000 feet tall.
Yeah.
That is his energy and how big he's being shown to me when he's throwing these kyanite, selenite, and like these light blue crystals down on the ground, like icebergs. Like he's throwing them down, and I'm seeing the land crack and people being lifted up and like transcended. Like he's super powerful up there, or wherever you believe in. So I'm going to ask him. I know you already kind of know a little bit of a contract just from Bandit. I'm going to ask him, if you don't mind, why he's back now for you and how you can kind of support him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep.
You just showed me him as the little girl again, as your daughter. Um, but he's saying, uh, these damn dogs make me cry all the time. God.
Yeah.
I don't
They
even
know what
call
they're
them
doing.
humans.
They know what they're doing when they pick this avatar. Come on.
Yeah. He's saying the reason why he showed me him as a little girl again is because He is in a sense, which if you are not aware of yet, or if you're starting to become aware, he's healing inner child's wounds in you, actually, around the abandonment stuff. He is also saying, he's calling you mommy, but he's saying that I will be okay because I know a family with a little girl that was my age when daddy died will take me in this life. And I'm seeing the girl. I'm seeing the family. And he goes, it's obviously a potential, but he just dropped like one of those light blue things around the family. So I know that like there is a family that will foster him if you choose to. Um, he's giving me the number 3 and 6. And you know me, like I'm not gonna tell you like 3 months, 3 weeks.
Nope. You operate like I do.
Um, but there is some type of transition with like the third week of the month in 3 weeks, or like in 3 months. There's something with 3 coming up. Um, and he's saying, don't get sad. Um, oh my God. Ed's Ed's great grandmother, so Ed's mom, her mom's mom. Does that make sense?
His mom's mom.
Yes.
Yep.
Is Sonic. Um, yeah. I'm asking why are they telling me this because I know it's gonna freak Ed out a little bit. Um, love you, Ed. Remember when remember when Ed did sound healing for you and all of his family members came in?
Mm-hmm.
um it opened up a gateway, and it in turn led Sonic to you guys um to heal the female wounds on Ed's side, like the feminine that
Maternal side.
yep, that have had to wear that masculine suit. Um, yeah, that wanted to be more nurturing but couldn't, right? Or didn't know how to, or whatever. Sonic is with you guys now to heal. So I'm just gonna say this out loud. I know Maria knows this, but when I say that Ed's great grandmother is Sonic, it means that a part of her spirit is within Sonic. Not that Sonic is her. Okay. It's part of her spirit. And she sent him to them to heal the ancestral wounds on Ed's mother's whole mother side. Which they also have a deep fear of abandonment, of trust, of this is her talking to me, like through him, um, of learning that it's safe to love again. It's safe to it's sorry, I'm doing energy healing at the same time.
I can tell.
Mm, hold on. Sonic's favorite crystal is ocean jasper. No wonder why I gave it to you. Um,
Wow.
so Sonic is with you. He had to be abandoned by his family to know that love still exists and that you can get trust again and that you'll still find your way home as long as you allow yourself um, to receive it. And it feels like the women and Ed's female side, right, have a lot of not necessarily just trust issues with the male, but some type of trust issue and like that wall up, like stubborn. And it's as though they're learning through the eyes of Sonic that love is possible in any situation. You will always be saved if you have faith. And um I'm seeing Ed's whole root chakra and like spine light up red as I'm doing this right now. Because Ed has no idea that by allowing him into the house, whether he had a choice of you bringing the dog home or not, how much it's healing his family and your family, because it's healing right your that those wiggly fuzzy whatever he's calling them in your belly. But also healing Ed. It's like his I'm seeing his spine. I'm hearing like L4, um, L5, 6, T something, all being lit up in his spine as I'm talking and seeing this healing happening right now. Um, he's saying you already gave him his wishbone. I don't know if he likes the little wishbones. Um, and he goes, nope, not a metaphor for me looking like the dog wishbone, but he's showing me the little tiny milk bones. And he's saying, you've already given me the best bone. Like you've given me my wish. You've given me my bone. You have put a new meaning to what bone means. Um, he's making reference to how a bone has two, 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 and two, and then a center. There's all of these. You know what I mean when I'm saying the description of a bone, right? How it looks.
Yes. And you know what's weird? Out of all of the toys, the only ones he'll grab of bandits are two hollow bones. They're hollow. There's nothing in. So there you go. And it's like way too big for him, but it's the only thing he wants.
Because he knows that he can see through the potential. He can it's not through the potential, but he can like see through and be like, there's always a way out. There's always a
Yeah.
he's saying that you taught him that when he was your daughter. Um by seeing your strength. He goes, I knew that you had a knife underneath that towel. I knew. I knew you always were protecting me. I knew you were teaching me how to write for when you left. I could survive on my own. He became the postal person. Oh my God, that's why I kept hearing postman. Holy shit. So your daughter
Whoa.
grew up and actually married a postman, but helped him like with mail. Like it was like they sorted out the mail together. Um, but you taught her just like you're teaching her about love again and trust again, and that abandonment isn't end all be all. And he just keeps showing me a tunnel. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why he's showing me the wish bone, like a bone. You just make a wish and you see that there's all these possibilities. And that's really the meaning of the what a bone looks like is look at the it's a heart. It's a heart connecting together. Don't you see that? Don't you see that? You're connecting my heart. Um in the holes, some of them have holes in it. He's saying, because there's always cracks in things. Not everything is solid. If it was solid, we never find our way back. Um, and he wants you to get kyanite for healing. You and Ed.
Kyanite.
Darker kyanite. He goes and it'll help him out with his
Good
his,
to know.
his panting. He's saying like wave it over him,
Okay.
panting. Um, he's showing me he's making a reference to his hips. Sonic is. Something with his back legs or his hips.
Yes, back leg.
Is it his left? Can't really tell how he's lying. I'm feeling it in both hips.
So he apparently Chihuahuas are prone to, well, they say it's patellar something. I forget what it is. But because I'm like, he's running with one foot up sometimes, not all the time.
Is it
And
his left leg?
I think so. I'm trying to remember now. Sometimes I think it alternates. And so I looked it up and it says Chihuahuas are prone to that. And it's sort of like, it's almost like their thing popping out of place.
Oh, he's a Chihuahua. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Um, I go, do you like tacos? He goes,
We
yeah.
call him a little taco every now. We're like, come on, little taco.
I just snorted. Um, something with the kyanite. Yeah, also for his back hips. Something.
That'll help. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, there's just a lot of reference to his back hips, and it's like I'm seeing wheels, like as if he had a wheelchair rather than legs in
Yeah.
another life. Oh, he did. Okay. He was I wish spirit would have me stop moving like this, but they're they're clearing the energy. Because I'm still in Ed's spine. Um, so there's another life, and I feel like I'm in England because I just saw like that big Ben, that clock, that tower.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm seeing Sonic is showing me him. His name is um fantastic little fella. He oh, sorry. He's being pushed. Oh my God, what is that guy? You know that guy who controls his wheelchair like with his like finger, and he's like super smart.
Yes, yes,
Big
yes,
Bang
yes.
Theory guy. Well, he's in Big Bang Theory. That's what he's reminding me of because he's like, I'm super smart like that, but I'm not like this. And I was like, you're being a dick. And he's like, I'm just funny. Like I'm disabled. I have a sense of humor over it. Like that's how I get by. And so he's saying that he was one of the ones who started making electronics for wheelchairs. And he had a life in England where he has a very rich family. Because I'm seeing like fancy, really shiny black shoes. His hair is like
I can see it.
bleached
I can
over like this. He is pale, but he's in the wheelchair. He was born disabled, and he was having a lot of fun um, whipping his wheels around, and he was very smart. I'm seeing him like roll around. He's like, I know he's like, this is a metaphor, but he's like using his wheelchair rolling around England, and he is showing me that you were his caretaker. You weren't his mom, but you were his caretaker. You were someone that supported him, like um, pushing him around up the hill specifically and helping him change. And you didn't realize how smart he was because you didn't understand it. You it doesn't seem like there was even computers out then. He's like talking all these mathematics and these codes, and like he's super freaking smart. And he was channeling this higher self of him, which is this huge power energy healer, right? And I truly feel like he was one of the ones that had something to do with building some type of electronics that helps handicap people mobilize better, because he he's just there's all these calculations like a Tesla, like a young
Yep. Whoa.
yeah, he is super smart, and he's like, doesn't matter the size of it that I am now. I'm in this life now with you to, like I said, because I don't need to, it's verbatim, I don't need to repeat myself, ha ha ha, about what love is and bringing the heart together. But I'm very smart, and I've already had a life of that. I've had a life of people taking care of me. I've had a life of not having legs and still being able to survive with humor. Now I've chosen, just funny, like you said about Lily, but a more vulnerable life, but also because I can be in a body where I can move, but if something happens to my legs, I know that I'll still be okay. Whoa. Um, Super cool. And there's something with the frequency in the dark kyanite that actually is part of something with electronics, something.
Yep, I was just gonna say something he used to create the thing.
Yep.
He's all moving around right now too. It's crazy because he hasn't been for the last like 3 hours. He's been like,
Oh, well, because he's fucking rolling around in his wheelchair, just like
yeah,
flying.
he's keeps like repositioning himself right now.
Let me see if there's anything else he wants you to know. He's just saying, I really need you to keep in mind you're just as smart as me. And he's referring to that life. Goes, but we just saw different things. And you in that life, it was as though you were his servant, like you were hired help, and you took care of him, so you didn't feel like you could match his level of intelligence. He goes, just because I spoke mathematics and I knew all this stuff, I mean, like you knew how to care and love. I didn't have a family. My own family just hired help because they didn't want to take care of me. So there's different types of intelligence. Remember that and honor that. Um, and
Wow.
he focusing on the clock 12, and he keeps saying 3, but the hand is on 12 and then 1. I feel like it's something to do with birthday, anniversary, something. Because I keep hearing like whoo, like celebration, but I also hear like toast. Um,
Mhm.
and I feel like the 12 and 1 is something like some type of portal, because I feel like dizzy going into it and staring at it. And it's super high, but he's like, it's very important for you to remember this. Um, I feel like the kyanite has something to do with how the clocks work too. Um, he goes, break me some bread. I want some scraps. Break me some bread.
He does.
A
He's
loaf of bread. He's like, just give me a loaf of bread. Italian bread, I don't care. Give me some bread. Sourdough. Give me some bread. I'll eat bread. I'll eat it soggy. I'll eat it covered in gravy. I'll eat the bread. Give me some bread. He likes bread.
that's hysterical.
Yeah. He goes, put the bread in the bone. I'll get the bread. He's also saying that he's working on your heart chakra. Um, because I'm seeing like an emerald go right from his heart to yours. But he's referring back to that wishbone connection. Does he lie in that bathroom behind you right now?
Um, Not usually, but he went in there tonight for like the first time. Like, that's weird. Usually Bandit lays in there.
Because
Like
he's,
when I'm down here, Bandit will lay in there because it's cooler, and he went in for a little while. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
yeah, he goes, I like it in here. It's pretty cool. And he just walked back up. um, He'll probably start laying in there more. He's like, I'm learning, right?
Yeah, he's learning the house still because it's ginormous for him.
And on the wheelchair, he's very expressive. He's like, I don't care. I got wheels. I'm going anywhere. He's very in people's space and business. And now he's like that vulnerable, right? He's learning that vulnerable, but trusting in it. And so he's just cautious.
Yep. Because outside, he's very curious,
Mm-hmm.
like in our yard and stuff. And because he's so little, I get like, because we have huge birds, so I'm like, I don't need a bird coming and picking you up. So like, I'm like helicopter foster mom right now. But yeah, he's very, very curious.
And he likes your house because the old house had some type of stairs. Something in the old house he didn't like. Something with the stairs in the old house. The family before you. He likes your house because not no stairs.
That explains why he hasn't tried because we have stairs at the end of our bed for Bandit, and I'm shocked that because he follows and kind of mimics everything Bandit does, but he has not tried the stairs, and I'm like, that's so weird. I'm not trying to get him to, but I just thought it was weird that he hasn't tried them.
Yeah, he
Now
doesn't like
that makes sense.
no
Not a
no
stair guy. Don't blame me, dude.
not a stair guy. Mm-mm. I'm
Don't
seeing
blame you. We ditched the stairs in Massachusetts.
yeah. There's a little girl. I don't know if you know anything about the family that had him before, but
I don't.
there's something with that family and a little girl in it that she misses him. And I don't know if it's the same family, but there's something with the stairs and that little girl's top of the stairs and he just always wanted to get up there but couldn't. And when he did, it was like not good. Something not good happened. And I'm seeing the little girl's very sad. And I don't know if it's this life or what, but there's stairs is a no-no. He's like, give me
I'm
bread instead.
I'm feeling it's this life, and I also believe he hasn't been in the same home his whole life, this life.
Twice. Yeah. Yeah. He goes, you're the three. He's been, yeah, twice.
Ray, look at that.
He goes, I love you.
Love you too, buddy. And he just moved.
And something with Ed's right hip. He's helping Ed with something with his right hip. His back over here. I don't know how, but he's saying I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out.
Wow.
I just want to give thanks to Bandit, to Sonic, and to Maria's higher self for letting me intrude her as well. And I want to give thanks to the guides for clearing that energy. We just asked the Platinum Blu-ray to come down. I disconnect myself and I give myself back to me and I love you and I thank you.
It's
It's fucking hot.
Well, he'll be sleeping with the ocean jasper tonight till I get dark kyanite.
Yeah.
That is not a stone that I have, so I will be getting it.
I highly
I
suggest
don't
it.
even know what it looks like, to be honest.
This is kyanite, but this is I think this is black kyanite. I don't know. I thought it was blue when I first got it, but it's not. I actually can't. I should have sent this to you, but I can't wear it. It actually like
Oh, it's pretty.
really bothers me.
Really?
I get like,
Like your skin gets irritated by it?
oh no, I get like,
Oh, palpitations.
yeah, and it's like it's not anxiety, but I feel like it's opening something that I'm physically not ready to have opened yet.
Yep.
I don't touch it, and that's why there's no chain on it anymore. Because I'm not even going to be tempted by it. So,
Wow. Well, thank you very much for tapping into my fur babies.
you're welcome. Sorry, that was way longer than 15 minutes each, but it's needed.
No worries. That's what happens. That's what happens. So let me reconnect and
And this was the, hold on, this was the color of the other thing that he was dropping. Shit. Hold on. Use my language. Akuna Matata, everybody. See?
Means no worries.
This is the color of the other one. You see it's like kind of
Okay.
bluish.
Bluish. Yep.
That was the other crystal, but they all looked like this. One of them is definitely selenite.
Sweet. Selenite I've got.
Girly.
Crazy.
Oh, she just laid back down.
Whoa.
Summon you.
Weird.
Look
All
at
right, let me
it works, people.
last animal. Yep. Last animal we've got is Sirius, which is Sam and Kevin's black cat.
And I am super excited about this because I'm gonna give you guys a little backstory real quick. When I first met Sirius, I was terrified of cats because my parents told me that I was allergic to them and everything else, and I was like, "You have a cat?" And the cat, Sirius, who's like a freaking dog, the cat's awesome, came up and was going around my legs like cats do, and I was like, things gonna attack me. Oh my god. And then it would come in the freaking shower and I was very no boundaries with that cat. And when I was sick, he actually came up and like laid next to me when I was sick. And I was like, oh, hi buddy. And whenever I'm doing work and the first time I got crystals and I laid out all the crystals, I remember Kevin being like, Siri's gonna knock them off the windowsills. Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh no, I had a talk with him. And this is before I thought anything about, I just wanted crystals, right? Serious. Just looked at them. And those are his normal stomping grounds. Didn't touch any of the crystals. Not one. Kevin was shocked. And now, like, when I come in the house, I'll say serious very quietly. And then I'll, like, see where he is. And then I'll hear, and he'll come right down, rub up against me. When I'm doing work, he walks in between the crystals. He, like, taps me here. He's like a dog. And he was very close to my dog that passed. And I keep thinking that he is an Egyptian. I think he's like has a spirit of Isis in him, the Egyptian goddess. Because I just do. I've had a lot of visions. So I am so excited for this. So, let's
Well,
go.
here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, Sirius. That's funny you say the Egypt thing because I've already seen him there. So,
Really? Cool.
yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, actually, I saw him there earlier today when I was like not even thinking. I knew we were doing this later, but it's like I quickly saw him in Egypt. Um, so it's weird. It's like I'm seeing. I don't know what Egyptian god this is, because it's not one that like energy wise I'm familiar with,
Mhm.
but I'm seeing him as a male, um, but he has like this almost like feminine energy about him, but he's very very much like a male. I can see him,
Yep.
um, but it's like he was a male, very in tune with his feminine side. Is like almost like uh, it's almost like he was gay, like if that was even like a thing then. Do you know what I mean? Like I mean I obviously it's always been a thing, um,
I get it.
but it's like, yeah, and the way that I sort of understand that is that, you know, we've I do believe we've all been gay in lives, because it's like after you've been in a certain avatar for multiple lives, like consecutively, there's like this period of like when you transition into the other body, it's almost like a confusion because you've identified so much with that energy in so many other lives. So I'm feeling like the life they're showing me is that he was a male Egyptian, but I do feel he was gay, because I'm feeling like this very like almost like a flamboyant, but he had to hide it.
Mhm.
Um,
Is it? I keep hearing the word boss,
Bass,
boss or bot or something.
like the name, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a real god, but I keep hearing it.
Um, Bossis is what I'm seeing. Bosis. Bossis, yeah. Um, Weird, and just think of like that word, like boss. But it's I'm trying to see like what his because I see him like scribing, on the side of inside the pyramids, but I see a lot of them scribing, so I feel like there's something that he. So this is like weird. It's like I feel like he shapeshifted at night.
Mhm.
Um, because I'm also seeing him as a cat, like, but it's not the cat that he is now. It's a cat in that life. But it's like I feel like at night he shapeshifted. He became like this cat at night, and he'd go out. It's almost like I feel like that's how he sort of protected things, because he could get in and out of things a lot easier than like a human would, because it's him. It's like I'm watching him be this like human during the day, but then at night he would morph into this cat. But the coloring was more he was like a dark brown with like black like stripes, but there was no like rhyme or reason to his stripes. They were kind of just like all scattered. Um, but I see him like every time. It's almost like as the moon would come out, I'd watch him like shapeshift into this cat, and he would be able to go in and out of everybody's like places basically. So it's like how he could kind of keep an eye on everything without anybody. It's like nobody knew that he did this. I feel like there was only one person in his life that knew he like had this capability. Um, and I feel like it's somebody that he was secretively like romantically involved with, because I'm seeing like this other male uh, Egyptian. I'm like freezing cold right now. That knew like his secret of how he like, but he didn't use it. Like they're very specific. Like he could have used this skill with like sort of evil intent, but that's not like what he used it for. It was really much more of this like protector, and also um, it's like he was this wisdom keeper, like knowledge. He had a lot of knowledge by being able to like. It's almost like how they'll say like you don't know what happens at somebody's dinner table, right? Like people can come
Mhm.
across as a certain way, but like in their house setting, they're totally different. And it's like he was able to see the real, the real people outside of what they sort of masked themselves to be in public, if that makes sense. So it's like they're saying he was like this wisdom keeper. Um, and had a very good sense of, because of this, like he can read people like now too, kind of like how you were saying he's got more almost like a dog energy, where cats tend to be more like standoffish, and he will be with certain people, but he can, like with you, he felt your energy, he felt your like apprehension, which is why he got all like close to you, because it was like to try to get you to like trust him and to release the fear, um, because he could feel your energy, but instead of like matching your energy and running the other way, he was like, "Oh no, 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 mm-mm, we're gonna break that." Like, mm-mm. Because it's like I see him like going in between like your legs, but I'm also seeing him from that life, like that version cat of him doing it to you. Um, because it's like they're saying he really could have used that as like almost like in a gossipy way, but he didn't. Like it was more to just like they're saying it was like to learn human behavior. If that's weird. It's crazy. It's like he's this almost like how now like we have all these people through the linear years that have like studied human behavior and like taught it. Like even like the whole shadow work thing, right? Like that was all studied by that Carl Jung and like studying human behavior. That's what he was doing. I'm getting wicked loud ringing in my right ear. Oh my god, is
You
he
always
Carl
do when
Jung?
you talk
Is
about.
he Carl Jung? Because right when I said that, I got wicked loud ringing in my right ear.
You
As soon
always
as I
do when you talk about.
referenced that particular,
Hmm.
and he's the shadow, like he's the shadow worker. Carl Jung is shadow work, and this cat would go out at night in the shadows and study human fucking behavior. Whoa.
Yep, that's what I've seen him do.
Whoa. But it was in a way to like teach it, not in a malicious, you know what I mean? Like it was very much to like he really wanted to like learn it. Like he was so like intrigued by how humans are. Like he was like intrigued by it, and that's why he liked to go out and like into people's houses at night because they didn't see him. Like he had ways of being able to like get in and out of like cracks and stuff. So it's like he would go and study the humans as a cat, but yet he was still very connected to his human self, and then he'd come back to his place. And I feel like his partner, it's almost like I feel like that's what they were scribing, like almost the beginning of like sort of like philosophy and really like they just keep saying human behavior. Got it, I got it, human behavior. um, Whoa, he's a shadow worker, and he's specifically in Kevin's life to help Kevin navigate his shadow work. He, correct me if I'm wrong, was he part, did he come after Kevin's separate divorce?
Yeah,
Was he part? Okay.
but he wasn't. Um, well, do you want me to tell you or no?
He wasn't in that relationship, right? He came after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with another relationship.
Yeah. He's like here to help like Kevin start to become aware of like his behavior patterns, right? And like love you, Kevin. We all have behavior patterns. That's what shadow work is. And he's a big, big, big aspect of like Kevin's awakening too. And he feels very close to you because when you were first talking before I even really like tapped in, he's also been in another life with you. I was shown really fast, like he was sort of like an elder, like that you studied under. So like he had all, you know, he understood like all the healing properties of the earth, and like I'm seeing the two of you like in this in a cave, and yeah, he was like your elder. He taught you a lot. So like now That's why he feels very comfortable with all of your healing things because he's like, yeah, that's what I taught you, girl. This is what I taught you. So it's like he is part of like when you are at Kevin's, he very much is like part of the healings that you do with your clients, even if he's not in the room. Like he's also like sort of facilitating his own energy healing from wherever he is in the house when you're doing it, especially like he's very in tune when you're doing it when you're not at that house, but he's much more actively present when you're in the house that he's in, right? Doing the healings.
Yep.
And it's weird, like I have no idea why they're showing me this, but I see him on a leash leading Kevin, and Kevin is holding an umbrella, and the umbrella is blue. Obviously, all very metaphorical because they're showing me him in this life, the Sirius that I know, and he's literally on this leash, and Kevin's like walking him on a leash like if he were a dog, and Kevin's holding this blue umbrella, but he's like, it's like Sirius is pulling him, like it's. I can feel he's like pulling him a little bit, and Kevin's like a little bit resistant, but he's going. But I can feel there's like a little bit of tension in the leash. Like he's like, come on, come on. And Kevin's holding this blue umbrella in his right hand. But it's like it's bizarre because it's like I see them doing it in the house and also outside of the house.
I know what it means. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you do. Like it's a very odd.
And
even the leash,
yeah.
the leash is blue. Of course it is.
Yeah, I just don't want to say it out loud so Kevin can see it and get his own interpretation.
Got it. And same. Yeah. Because it's all everything's blue. But Kevin trusts him. That's why even though there's like tension, he's like, okay. But I can feel like the the hesitation, you know. And he's like, all right, well, if Sirius is going, like then I can too, even though I don't really want to, but I'll go.
He's been wanting to put him on a leash lately. I was like, just do it.
What? Are you serious? That's so weird. Because that's like what I see them do. I'm like, why is he on a leash? But okay, must be metaphorical. I was going back to the Egyptian life because that's very like that's like I can't believe he's Carl Jung. Like, and I just said it again, and I'm getting chills. But it's like, yeah, they're yeah. Wow. And that's also he's that's why he's black too. But it's just I want to try to I'm finding out because I feel like his significant other in that life, like who was also very much a part of like it's like I can see them like compiling all of this work on human behavior. It's like the beginning of like understanding human nature, human behavior. They were like sort of like the pioneers kind of. And I want to know if this person because I'm feeling like this person is also in your lives, either you, Kevin, or both of you. Um,
I just saw them.
hmm?
I just saw them.
Well, I'm going to tell you the very first face I saw before you said that.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you, but yeah.
Because I don't think it's who. I saw your dad.
Oh, I didn't. But
I
that's
know. That's why I said. I already know it's not the same because as soon as you said I just saw, I'm like, oh, you didn't see what I just saw. Because the very first face I saw was your dad. Wow. Wow.
I was probably in that life or something.
Oh, wow. I won't say anymore because like I don't have your dad's permission to be doing this, but it's very interconnected to, yeah, yeah. Your dad was in that life with them, um, very much so, very much so.
Yeah, but you can tell because you're in Sirius's Akash, not my dad's.
I know. Um,
So it wouldn't be being shown if you weren't
it's
supposed to.
like your dad was scribing what he was expressing. So it's like your dad was like the scribe of it. He was writing it all out, and like Sirius was this wisdom, like the delivery of the wisdom, and then your dad was like finding ways of how to scribe it, but almost in like different languages too, so it could reach like the masses.
Makes sense.
Um, so it's like they were both highly, highly intelligent, like highly intelligent. Um, wow, so wild, man.
You know, my dad went to school for psychology first.
No,
So did Kevin.
so did I.
You did too? Freaking weirdos.
Right? What the hell? Um, whoa, like that's wild. And like they had to keep everything, and I know this comes up in it, but it is what it is. It's just like how we're living now. Like people still have to hide this stuff. I mean, I feel very fortunate that at this point this is way more accepted in society than it ever has been. So we have made some progress along these linear years, but it's like they had to hide everything they were doing. Like they had to hide their work because they didn't want it to get into the wrong hands. They knew like what they were doing was going to like shake shit up, you know, and was going to kind of put humanity on this path that we're finally now on, kind of thing. Like it's like they knew that by teaching this to people, it would empower them, right? Because it was all about this like the shadow and how like the shadow unconsciously runs us even and they're saying even in those times where we perceive civilizations to be so much more advanced, they were, but they all fell for a reason. They fell because of the shadow, right? So there was always still shadow even though they were more civilized or more advanced than we perceive ourselves to be today. It's like there was always still this shadow. So they knew like that the work that they were doing was like um, not just life changing, but it like could really like it could have put Earth on an evolution path like a long time ago. Like it was one of the potentials for this Earth plane that I do feel played out on in one reality. I am seeing it. It did play out. It's just not in this reality. He's also here as like a not just like to help Kevin with like strength, but like he's here as almost like a visual um, symbol of like strength because again, most of us fear the dark. We fear like even just being a black cat, right? There's a what's the word I'm looking for? But there's a you know
Position.
belief about yeah
Yep.
about black cats that they're
Bad.
bad
Evil.
if they cross our path like oh my god, so there's this paradigm around black cats and so it's like he's here as like this to be a visible physical symbol of strength for Kevin specifically. Obviously for both of you, but specifically for Kevin in the sense that like you don't have to be afraid of the dark, really. To it's like they're showing me how like he invited Sirius into his life, even with this sort of superstition of black cats, right? Like he intuitively felt this connection and allowed the dark into his life instead of like resisting it. And so he's really like a symbol of Kevin's strength. Like that's what they're saying. Like he is a symbol of he's a physical, visible symbol of Kevin's strength and everything that Kevin has already like worked through, like any shadow that he's already sort of started to work through. So it's like he's this every time I see like he's like he'll specifically show up at certain times, like physically in Kevin's presence. If Kevin's going through something, especially like with, that huge shift he went through after, leaving his job and everything, like Sirius is like, it's like he's trying to like almost like get in his face, like we're strong, like remember, like we're strong, you're strong is what he's trying to say to him. Like he's specifically a very, very physical symbol of Kevin's strength.
Hence the blue umbrella. And Nico.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, he said he's working very, very closely with Nico because it's like how Nico was your strength, Sirius is Kevin's. So it's like he's using Nico's energy too, to help with that because I mean, I have seen Nico in your house. I've seen him in the Cape House, and it's like I can Sirius like, yeah, he's always with me. Like he's like legit always here. Like he's legit always here. Like
Sirius literally will go and try and eat out of my bowls, like Nico would. Like Sirius has been morphing or shape shifting lately, and Kevin notices it more than I do. He sleeps right next to his bed on the ground. Sirius never used to sleep there.
yeah, it's like because they're saying it's like he's actually. It's almost like he's sometimes taking part of Nico's energy with him as well.
Mm-hmm. When Kevin was losing weight, the cat was losing weight. I was like, babe, pay attention. Remember what happened with Nico? But is there anything health-wise that Sirius would like us to do for him real quick?
So all I heard was pancreas. I'm like in his body and I don't see like nothing's like sticking out as like, oh, there's an intrusion or there's like inflammation. Like, but when you asked, I heard pancreas. Um, he had like in that Egyptian life, he had like this recurring pancreatitis.
Dude, you were just gonna say that.
At first I was like, oh my God, pancreatic cancer, of course, that's where the mind goes. But they're like, no. But it's like I keep seeing him go through bouts of pancreatitis in that life. And I almost feel like part of it was like stress from like trying to maintain that knowledge, but also the integrity of it, but also like maintain it and also but wanting to share it in a way. Like there was this sort of like trying to find the balance of like because it's not like they wanted to keep it hidden from it. They wanted people to know, right? But they knew if it fell into the wrong hands, then it would get all distorted. Is literally the word I just heard. So it's like he was always trying to figure out like how can we still share? How can we preserve it? How can we maintain it, but also share it? And it's like it's almost like how people will get like stomach ulcers from like stress. It's like I'm seeing him as he's really trying to figure out, and like then I'm feeling like this bout of like pancreatitis, and I can see it in there. So there's definitely energy from that life that has been brought into this vessel. Um,
Yep.
I heard like lavender. Um, I can see it in a diffuser, but you can also get obviously a non-toxic essential oil to rub on him. But I'm seeing Kevin rubbing it like just on his back very gently, and I'm seeing you rubbing it like on his abdomen.
He
Um,
hates his belly being touched.
yeah, it's funny. I'm seeing you do his abdomen, but I'm seeing Kevin like very like methodically, almost like rubbing it from the head all the way to the tail, and it's like so methodical the way I see him doing it with the essential oil. But I can also see it in a diffuser. So they're saying, you know, lavender has a very calming effect. I feel like that's what I can see him using even in that life that helped to kind of settle those flares that he would get because they were very, very much stress induced. Um, Also, there was something he like. Did cats drink milk?
He doesn't. He drinks water. I think that's a tail.
Okay, because I'm seeing him drinking milk in that life. I don't see him doing it in this life. That's why I was like, do they? Because I don't see him doing it in this life, but I'm seeing him drink milk, and it's almost like adding to the
Well, that makes sense. It's hard to process it if your pancreas stuff, like, 'cause how heavy it is.
right, and it's like I'm seeing it was like adding
Mm.
to the flare ups. Um, I am seeing the stone fluorite. Do you have fluorite?
Of course I do. Which color? Or does it not matter?
I'm seeing the the um the purple and green fluorite.
Oh, like my nails.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I have green right here. I I don't have purple.
I'm seeing like a piece of fluorite that has like both the purple and green like merged into it. Um,
Okay.
and
Like,
also like how Kevin's doing the oil, like I'm seeing the fluorite, but they're being very specific to like start it from here and go all the way to his tail. Like use it. Like does he like to be pet?
oh yeah.
Okay, because I'm seeing it as like putting it in your hand while you're petting him. It's having a very like calming effect on him.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thanks, buddy. Tell Nico I said hi.
Oh yeah, Nico is
Right here, man.
he jumps in him sometimes and merges with him.
He's been going into Lily lately too.
Yeah, you can. I know. Sometimes when Snoop jumps into Bandit, it's like because it's a different energy. So it's like, oh, or I almost can see it in their eyes sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's Snoopy's eyes. Like for a second, it's weird. It's like, oh, hey, Snoop. Yeah,
I
these two
love
are like these two are passed out in here. They've enjoyed their healing sessions.
it. I love
They're
it.
out. Um, Let me just see if there's anything else. Egyptian life is so wild. It's so cool. But it's like now they're quickly flashing me to the one where you and he was like your elder.
Mhm.
Um, and like I feel like he lived really old in that linear life, like mid hundreds. Because even his face looks really like I'm talking old. Like I feel like he was 157. I don't know. That number just came out. Um, So like you spent a big chunk of your life with him because he was so old, and he like practiced his healing work up until the very end. I do see you with him at the very end. You were like his like number one student, like because I see other people learning with you, through you, almost like in a ascended masters kind of schooling type thing, but you were like his top, like
Prodigy.
yeah, you formed a very like deep connection, almost like he looked at you as like his own child, kind of, where like the others I can see he was much more like, these are my students, like he cared for them all, but it's like you and he had more of a almost like a family connection. And I do see you at his bedside when he passes, but it's like one of the most peaceful passings I've ever witnessed, both in physical reality and this tapping in reality. Because he trusted you, and it's like you learned everything in that life from him, so you knew how to help like his soul. You knew how to psychopomp him essentially. So but even like the actual active dying process, he was very peaceful the whole time. Like I'm watching it, it's like the most peaceful death I've ever witnessed. Like even you, like you were emotional, but it's like you had so much spiritual knowledge. You knew that he wasn't really dying, he was just transitioning to something else. So it's like you were both at peace with it. It's the most peaceful passing I've ever seen. It was beautiful. I'm getting chills. Because it's like you were crying, but not in this, like, they're even saying, like, you didn't have this overwhelming, like, grief.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt, Nico.
Like, obviously you still felt all the human emotions that we all feel, even though when we're tapped in spiritually, but like they're saying like your spiritual stamina, and just because of everything you guys did together and witnessed together, that you knew, like, yeah, you were sad to lose his physical being, but you knew like it's almost like you knew what you did, you knew like what he was going to next. Of course you did, because you helped psychopomp him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm with you again in this life, Sirius. Just give me some heads up so I can help you, Daddy. All right? Just no.
You said you're already helping daddy.
Yeah.
You did that.
That's
Good
awesome.
daddy.
Thank you.
Let me just close out. I thank all of the guides, Sirius's higher self, my higher self, Sam's higher self, Kevin's higher self, for allowing me all to tap in and bring some clarity, healing, and wisdom. Because wow, do we pick the same soul families many times. And it's beautiful.
To infinity and beyond. I'll see you on the other side.
Amen. Aho.
So it
And
is.
so it is.
Thank you, Maria, for tapping into my little fur babies. I'm so grateful for you.
And thank you as well, because it definitely helps to, as you and I both know, we can both tap in, but it's harder because we do still have a human ego. So it is nice to be able to, when we can't fully discern, to be able to have a trusted partner that can tap in and have a totally non biased perspective of what's going on. So thank you.
Yes, and it all resonated.
Same.
When we usually do our yin yangs, so I would do Sirius at the same time Maria would do Sirius, right? Like we tag team, but I already intuitively know a lot about Sirius, but I needed a confirmation, right? And
Same.
Maria doesn't really know much about Sirius, so and I learned that he's Carl Jung. Which is pretty cool.
Whoa, so
Yeah.
cool.
It
Love
makes
it.
sense why he's the way he is. So it's really, really cool. And with the for Lily, Spirit and Maria told me this last week too. Like, oh, you got to talk to Lily with that light language, that dragon frequency. I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. So I just call them in. I don't do it, and then we did it, and it worked. So the tools work when the intention is right and you have your heart open, ready to receive it.
Yep. Amen, soul sister.
So thank you all for listening. We love you. We hope to do a reading or connect with you, or that you just learned the power of love and spirit, and that we all have contracts and we're never ever alone. We're always being supported and guided by something, whether we can physically see it or not. So
So true. So true. Thank you all. We love you.
we love you. Bye.